Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. And so today we are going to be talking about the school-based programs by the Recovery Center. And so we have on the call today, Trisha Ferrara, Jennifer Blackston, and Rebecca Crutch. And so they are going to share their programs. And they also have a PowerPoint to share that David will pull up. And so I don't know, Trish, if you all want to introduce yourself a little bit more than what I just did. It's up to you.
Sure, we'll just do it very briefly. I'll do it. So we are all three prevention specialists, and we value prevention tremendously. We have been firm believers in prevention for a very, very long time. We know that it works, and we are grateful to be partnering with all of you to provide these valuable services to our youth. We know that when our kids, our students get these services when they're young, they're far less likely to be coming to our office for treatment later in life, or that they will have a friendly face if they need somebody to talk to when they do come here. So we welcome and value our partnerships with you. To dive right in, we would like to go ahead and just talk about prevention. We know that it does work. So the next slide, David, would be the prevention does work, and every dollar invested in school-based substance abuse prevention programs, which is really wellness programs, save up to about $18 in costs related to substance use disorders later in life. Evidence-based practices work. 80% of the youth in the United States participate in school-based prevention programs, yet only about 20% of these youth are exposed to effective prevention programs. Next slide, please. Okay, if you would forward, I should have told you. There we go. So a lot of times we do prevention efforts that aren't evidence-based and proven to be effective, and we are really grateful that our ADAM board values this, and we all believe in providing programs that we know are going to be helpful to people. Next slide. We have at the Recovery Center been providing services in Fairfield County since 1973. So we have many decades of being really valuing our community and being involved. We have been doing prevention services, as far as we know, back to around 1980 in all of the school districts in Fairfield County. And in the last couple of decades, we have had staff that have been involved in every school district in Fairfield County. And we love that we have these relationships with the staff at your schools and are able to work with them to help our youth understand the importance of living a healthy, drug-free life. We have qualified staff who believe in prevention. Again, all of our staff are certified through the Ohio Credentialing Board, and our prevention specialists, we're happy to report, are all LSWs at this time or taking the test to be LSWs. So their ability to provide more services has increased recently. And we're going to talk about that because that offers more value to what we can provide for you. Now we're going to talk specifically about Fairfield County ADAM board funded programs. Rebecca?
Okay, so I'm Rebecca Crutch. I'm one of the staff here at the Recovery Center that actually goes out to the school. There are 3 of us right now. So I'm just going to talk briefly about each of our programs, the bigger ones that we do. The first one is the Botvin Life Skills Training. So this one focuses on, you can go ahead and change that next slide. Thank you. So this is one of our programs that is led a lot by the students. So they do a lot of answering questions. We do a lot of discussion in class. It does focus on preventing drug abuse. It promotes the well-being of the student. So we do decision-making, media influences, a lot of how to control yourself and get my words here, hang on.
A lot of social emotional learning, really.
Yes, assertiveness, social skills, resolving conflicts, and a lot of emphasis on resisting peer pressure for the Botvin. The next slide is Project Alert. This is one of my personal favorites. It's specifically for our 8th graders. It focuses directly on alcohol and preventing alcohol use and drug use. And it also focuses on peer pressure and resisting peer pressure. We do a lot of lessons on that. Okay, and next slide. Oh, he did. Oh, he changed it to that one. Okay, sorry. We can go ahead to the Reconnecting Youth. Okay, so Reconnecting Youth is a program that we facilitate in most of our junior highs, some high school. We get small groups of kids together and they learn different techniques on how to use their skills. So such as goal setting, decision making. You can go ahead and change the slide to the next one. Thanks, David. If they're having any problems in school with their grades or attendance or their social emotional skills, this curriculum really helps with that. So it helps them learn how to set good goals. It teaches them how to make good decisions and how to focus in school and become better students. Okay, next one is Red Flags. This is our suicide depression awareness program. This is one that I personally teach in junior high. I like to teach it in 7th or 8th grades. That's where they are. That's what I'm doing right now at General Sherman and Thomas Ewing. It focuses on depression awareness. And it helps the students understand and recognize signs of depression. Often the teenagers don't understand what they're seeing in themselves or others, and it helps them become aware of that. And in doing so, hopefully that they learn how to seek help. That's our Red Flags program.
If I can add, during the pandemic, I just read an article yesterday about the increase of youth and feeling suicidal and feeling depressed. So helping them be aware of what those contributing factors are and how to feel better is really important right now.
Okay, so next one is Safe Dates. This is 3 to 9 lessons. I usually tend to do it in 3 only for time constraints. It talks about healthy dating. So how to recognize signs of dating abuse. You can go ahead and change the slide, David. It teaches them safe and unsafe relationships, and also how to increase their own self-esteem and learn what they want in a partner and what is healthy. Okay, Too Good for Drugs. This is another one that's really popular, especially in the junior highs. We do teach it K through 12, any grades. It's 6 to 9 lessons. This focuses on alcohol and drug prevention, but we also talk about goal setting and decision making, communication, how to make those good decisions. It's the base, it's the start of drug prevention. And then we get into the nicotine and marijuana and alcohol and peer pressure, refusal skills. So this is a good one. And this one we actually teach, I believe, in almost every school. Even in the elementaries, we start young and talk about this. The next one is Too Good for Violence. This one is primarily, I was looking at the grid, primarily taught in 6th grade. 5th and 6th grade, we do the Too Good for Violence a lot. It focuses on violence prevention. So a lot of character education, how to resolve conflicts. You can go ahead, yeah. Bullying awareness, the anger management, communication, how to get along with peers and what to do if there is a conflict, how you resolve that. And then our youth assessment and treatment. This might actually be something that I don't know if, yeah, you guys might want to talk about the youth assessment and treatment.
Okay, so I'm Jennifer. I'm going to take over here for a little bit. Youth assessment and treatment. So that of course is available. We started in 1973, as Tricia said, as the Division of Alcoholism. So our main role at that time was and for most agencies, was clinical. And then in the 80s, we started getting more into prevention and realizing, hey, we can stop this behavior before it starts. We can stop and talk about who's at high risk and who needs help now, so that we can get it before it becomes a big problem. So youth assessment and treatment is something that we've done since early 1970s. And we are more recently starting to do more with the violence component of it, the bullying component of it, the how it works with domestic violence and mental health, in addition to the addiction piece or the intervention piece.
Yeah, and if I can add, we are seeing more youth for just straight mental health issues. And we also have a person who is a specialist in eating disorders, but I think it's valuable for you to know, and an art therapist. So our group work and that type of thing is becoming very creative.
Yeah, we're doing some amazing things. We do work, next slide, we do work in cooperation with other agencies and always have, because we know that we aren't always the expert, and sometimes we need to refer out. And sometimes we help other people just get the information that they need so that they can do a better job as well. Recommendations are made based on assessments. This sometimes can be difficult for people to understand that they can't come and tell us what they need, that we need to make that based on a complete biopsychosocial assessment. And then that is, and then based on research, we determine what needs to happen. Additional programs, next slide. Because we do have some programs that are not currently funded through ADAM, but that we've either done in the past or that aren't currently funded, or, for whatever reason are not on that menu of services, but they're definitely things that we can provide or that we can make arrangements to see what we can do about that, given availability. So CyberSmart, next slide. CyberSmart is a program that is evidence-based. It is, I think, one of the only evidence-based programs for cybersecurity, for how to act when you're online, what not to do, what to do when you're in social when you're online. Incredible Years is a program that's more geared toward younger kids. Parent education and staff training is something that we've done for years. Sometimes the staff and parents just need the little bit of education, one-time thing, so that they can understand better what they need to do and what they need to look for, etc. Red Ribbon Prevention Week is something that happens at the end of October. We've done a lot of things in the past. It's kind of, due to budget constraints, it's kind of gone down, but that's definitely something that kids really can look forward to. So we can give you ideas, or we can help out with that. Student Assistance Program is another thing in your mailing that you got this morning. It explained a little bit more about that. Tobacco Education and Tobacco Intervention Program, those are loosely based on the Catch My Breath program, which is an evidence-based program. Because a lot of that changed so very quickly with the dueling and the e-cigarettes, all that stuff, there really wasn't anything for a while. So we came up with some stuff. Rebecca actually came up with some stuff so that we could fill that need. And then the Catch My Breath is a newer program, so we're working with that to incorporate that as well. The Youth Intervention Program is more for people who have an indicated issue with substances, who we're concerned about, and they come to our agency, and we kind of figure out what's going on and how best to serve them from there. And then, of course, do some education along with that. The treatment services, which we talked about a little bit, and a couple more slides, David, thank you. One more. Thank you. One more slide. Okay, we can just do things as simple as giving information and referring out if need be, that we have some amazing valuable resources throughout the county. Crisis intervention, diagnostic assessment, of course, everything we do clinically is assessed. Individual and group counseling, prevention, education, and training is what most of the schools think of us when they think of us. They don't think of the treatment services. I always say, you know, we don't know what we don't know until we need to know it. So most people don't know about our services until they absolutely need to have it. And it's good to just kind of put that out there, just so you know, this is someplace I can call if I have a concern about, you know, mental health, I have a concern about addiction, of course. Community awareness, advocacy, and environmental change, because we know that that's how change will eventually happen. All right, one more slide. Confidentiality. Do you want to speak to this?
We just have very strict confidentiality rules and regulations that we have CFR 42, which is in addition to HIPAA. So we have to be very careful about sharing information. We like school personnel to know that it's not that we don't want to share it, but we have to have the right documentation to be able to do so. So we like to pass that on. And also that some of our treatment services are we get help with funding through the ATOM board for students who may not have private insurance. So never let that be a barrier for someone who needs to get help. Please contact us. And I think that concludes our information.
Next slide.
Very good. So
Thank you, David.
yeah, we're happy to take any questions, or you can contact us with questions as well.
Next slide. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So thank you. I would like to open it up with any questions that folks might have right now for the Recovery Center. And I'm not, so let me change my view here so I can see if anybody's unmuting.
Tony, this is JB Dick.
Hi, JB, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. So did you have a question?
I apologize for my moniker being super. I didn't create that, so I'm not professing that in the least. I guess a question that one of the reasons that we're looking this year is that I don't feel we've had a consistent person in our building. What kind of assurances do you have of us having a consistent person? Because if we're talking about fragile youth, it's tough to build relationships if they're worried about having a new counselor or a new person to be with each time they meet with someone.
Okay, sometimes that changes because of the program changing in the school or the staff. We have the same prevention specialists that we've had for a number of years now. So that's something that we can discuss, because we do want to be consistent with you. So if you had a change, please let contact me and we'll talk about it and provide you assurance. Obviously, if somebody leaves the organization, we don't have control over that. But again, we have very, very low turnover rate with our prevention specialists. They tend to love their job.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Are there any other questions?
And another thing that you may want to know, in the packet of information that was sent to you by Jennifer is a list of the services that your school has been getting for the past several years, or I believe it was right before COVID started. So you would have an idea and you can talk to your staff about that as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would ask for the school-based prevention programs are
Sorry,
We
Tony.
lost you for a minute, Tony, but I think you're back.
so it says my connection is unstable. So I'm going to turn my video off because I know sometimes that helps. Trish, can you address your school-based prevention programs? Are they virtual, in person, either, both?
we much prefer to be in person because we know that we can have more interaction with the students, and a lot of the activities have been altered to make sure that it's still interactive, but it's much easier to do it in person. However, we are able to do either, and our staff have been very creative about finding ways to make the programs interactive.
Okay, great, thank you. I just put in the chat how to get on our website and get to the school-based prevention page, because we have had our new website went live on Monday, and the information I sent out last week to school-based folks is no longer good. So I just put in the chat how you get to the school-based prevention page for our new website. So this video is recorded, will be placed on our website probably within the next few days. So if you have had school personnel that could not watch live today, send them to the website and it'll be posted there. So I'll open it up one last time for any questions. And I would just thank everybody for being here and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.